Howdy, y'all, and welcome to the EEARSS Podcast, produced by Terrier TV. I am Frank Robb, joined almost always by Bill and Cindy. Always. Not almost always. Always by Bill and Cindy.
There you go.
Yep. And today on the podcast, we're joined by Mrs. Cerrato from Astronaut High School. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
How's it going, guys? What's new and exciting in the world of Titusville?
Greater Titusville?
I mean, is there a greater and a lesser Titusville?
I don't know. Well, you know, they opened
Culver's.
Culver's, yeah.
Which,
and
remember,
it's a madhouse.
Rita told us about that when she was on here.
Right.
A season ago. She told us that was coming. So it was
Right.
really neat to see it actually
She
come to
told
fruition.
us, yep.
Yeah, that was a whole crazy thing.
And Erin from the chamber, she said something about
She
it too.
did. They
She
did. Both drop Culver's, and before that I had never heard of a Culver's.
Yep, neither had I. And I went to the one in Oviedo and saw that.
Has
beforehand.
anybody had Culver's yet?
Not from here.
Not in
No,
Titusville.
because every time I've tried to go, the line's out to the road, and I'm usually hungry. I can't wait that long.
Can't wait that.
I had a Culver's chicken sandwich.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
And?
It was solid. It was so. There was a time
I don't
here.
know if that's the descriptive
It was
term you
solid.
should use for food. It
Solid.
Well,
was
there's
it was solid.
There was a time recently where myself and my buddy Ernie, we got together, and he told me that he thought Burger King or something like that had the best chicken sandwich, and I said, well, no, Popeyes has a really good chicken sandwich. So I said, don't eat dinner tonight. Maybe don't even eat lunch, because I got an idea. And I went and I bought chicken sandwiches from Burger King, McDonald's, KFC, Popeyes, what's the Chick-fil-A. I think I had 7 different kinds of chicken sandwiches, and we sat down and we ate every chicken sandwich, and we compared them.
Well, who won?
Yeah, who won?
Okay.
In my mind, it was still it's a toss-up between Arby's and Popeyes. Arby's chicken sandwich,
Really?
I was
their
up
chicken
with
bacon
Arby's.
Swiss is
Yeah.
really good. Yeah, chicken
Wow.
bacon Swiss from Arby's is really good, but the one from Popeyes, whenever you can actually get through a line at Popeyes, it's super duper thick, and it's really well done, very crispy.
Okay.
Yeah, it has a little bit of extra sauce on it, kind of makes it taste good. But I'm not a chicken
Okay.
sandwich
I'm
aficionado
a
or anything.
Chick-fil-A guy. I
Yeah,
like
same.
Chick-fil-A. Yeah.
Does Culver's even rank? I mean, once you put it in there with the...
It was better than Burger King, McDonald's by a long
Okay.
ways, but it was I'd say it was somewhere in the middle. It was cooked very evenly. It's a very thin piece of chicken, so it wasn't. It wasn't enough to stand apart for me to put it even in the top 3, but it definitely wasn't in the bottom 3 either. It was squarely
So
in the middle.
now-
Solid middle of the road.
A technical question here. You bought these chicken sandwiches. How long did they sit before you ate them?
Yeah.
We polished them all off within an hour.
Yeah, I know, but you
But
had
to
to go to
drive
all
all
these
around.
different
No.
places.
Yeah, I went and got them all, and I probably had them all back within an hour. Yeah, it didn't take long. They were all still warm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually even had a little thing I put them in to keep them
Cool.
warm. Yeah.
Okay.
He came
Yeah.
prepared.
I did. I knew what the plan was, so yeah,
So okay.
it jumped all in. It was a good time. Chicken sandwich time.
There you go.
It makes everything wonderful. So I did the whole New York thing in
That's right.
a day and a half /
Now,
2 days.
now let me ask you: Did you find that Sunday was a better day than Monday, or was it just crazy both days?
It's pretty much chaos both days. Yeah,
Okay.
it was. I mean, compared to Brevard County, it was pretty nuts.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I think the traffic was definitely worse than Chicago by quite a ways. It was a nice city. I stayed right across the street. I stayed in a hotel called the Cloud One, which was 30 feet away from Ground Zero, where the World Trade Centers fell. I mean, the memorial for it was right across the street. So
Okay.
very emotional. I had a couple of interesting issues with the whole thing. It's weird to talk about this out loud, but that's a very emotional place and a very I'm trying to think of the correct words. It's a place where you don't expect to see people goofing around.
Right.
It's a place that, I mean, it should have like the ultimate
Some
respect going on
reverence.
there.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was people taking selfies and kind of running around being goofy with one another and
It's
laughing and goofing off.
Same
And
kind of thing like when you go to Arlington National Cemetery.
yeah, and
you
these
see
weren't
things
kids.
like that.
Yeah, these weren't kids. These
Yeah.
were adults. And it hurt my feelings a little bit. And there were some officers there, and I actually asked them, I said, hey, is this a normal thing? I mean, is there any rules against this? Can you guys show these fellows the door, or what? I mean, how does
Right.
this work? And they said, unfortunately, they said, I guess in D.C., the Holocaust Memorial has rules
Right.
like that up. You know, if you're acting that way, you're gonna be trespassed and shown the door. and they said that that's something that needs to happen there, but it's never happened, unfortunately.
Okay.
So that was a little bit of a downer. That kind of hurt my feelings a little bit, rubbed my fur the wrong direction. But the memorials there are beautiful. Met some really, really nice people. Went and walked through Times Square. Got about 20 minutes of that, which was plenty. And
so any characters approach you?
They'd probably say a character approached them, but no. No, it was different. Yeah, they saw Mickey and Minnie Mouse, and I said, "Man, you guys even made it up here, huh?" But there were some protests going on there for different things, and it was raining the whole time. But it was cool to go see it. I could say, "Hey, I was there and saw it," which
right.
I mean, I don't know if I'll ever be back in New York again, and didn't plan on that trip, so it was really pretty awesome to enjoy it. But anyhow, I digress. You guys ready to jump into our conversation with our guest today?
Well, hold on. I got one burning question.
Oh, yeah, ask me.
So what airline did they fly you on?
Flew up on United.
Okay.
Yeah, flew into Newark.
They didn't stick you on Spirit?
No. I might have boinked.
Yeah.
I might have boinked. I've flown Spirit one time before, and it was wonderful. Absolutely flippin' wonderful.
So did you get the extra milk crate to sit on, or
on Spirit?
On Spirit, yeah. That's why I've never flown Spirit, but I always envision people sitting on milk crates.
It's not a whole lot different than sitting on one of these tables,
right?
As far as comfort would go.
I've heard it's like a hard bench kind of thing.
It'd be like a bench at a football game, or a chair with no padding.
Yeah.
That's what I compare it to. You ever flown Spirit?
I have the luxury of flowing Spirit.
All right, you guys ready to jump in this?
Yeah, let's
jump into it. Miss Cerrato, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I'm going to try not to keep calling you Miss Cerrato, but it's going to happen anyhow, so it is what it is. Tell us a little bit about you, what you do for a living, and where you work.
All right. I work currently at Astronaut High School. I love it there. I went to school there, and I didn't expect to be back there as an educator for sure, but it's funny how life does that to you.
Yeah.
This is my 21st year in education.
Wow.
I've done middle and high school, all secondary. I was in Stark, Florida, a little town. No one's ever heard. Where the prison is. Where the prison is.
The prison is
the only reason I know Stark.
Yes, the executions, the electric chair. The teachers, the long-term teachers there, that's kind of the claim to fame. But it's just because it's kind of like when people ask where we work. Oh, the Space Center.
Representative Kennedy Space Center, yeah.
I guess that's a better gig to say that. But
the prison, that's where we're from. Yeah.
So I ended up, I actually did Florida virtual school for a while. That's different, very different than being in the classroom for people who've done both or one or the other. Now I went back into the classroom at Madison Middle School. I love middle school, but I was coaching. It was a much better fit to move up to the high school where I have been. And then it's a little bit of a tangled web, but during COVID, a friend of mine I had student interns throughout my career, and I'd always thought I wanted into leadership because it felt like a natural feeling thing for me in leadership, but I didn't want to pay for a master's degree on a teacher's salary. And there's really no
understandably.
Right. So a friend of mine, very good friend, said, Christina, you have all these vouchers. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, all those vouchers, yeah. So when you take on a student intern, you get vouchers in any state university, 6 hours for every intern. I know. It's like any teachers listening to this podcast, please email me. I will tell you all the ways to do. Like I couldn't even remember.
Amazing.
I didn't even. Yes, it's amazing and it's crazy because it's worth so much money. I had interns that I forgot their names, and I had contacts who helped me where the schools that I had them at, and then UCF combined. I could get credit for these girls that had changed names. They've been married. So anyway, I paid for most of my master's degrees with my one degree with the vouchers. So it's something that I think we forget about if we take on interns, but they don't expire. Like you can still use them. So I did pay for a little bit of it, but I graduate on Saturday with my master's degree. I know, I'm so happy because when I went in, because this was during COVID, like right at the end of COVID. So my friend had done almost all of it virtually because she went in, it was COVID, and they didn't go. Then when I go in, it's like back to face-to-face. Oh, no. But it's okay because I will say, quick plug for UCF's education leadership program. it has really made me a better, like, and you would think you would feel like you know a lot, but in 19, 18 years, whenever I stood, but now it is such a tremendous, it's made me such a better educator. And you kind of met me in the middle of it all, because Tim Hawthorne with UCF was doing the GeoBus thing, and that's where I got all the drone. They took astronaut kids under. I don't know if you guys know what we were doing with the drones. We went out. They were at UCF, had a grant. They flew a couple of us teachers and some students out to California. We drone mapped eelgrass from Bodega Bay, which is a amazing little town, all the way down to the actual San Andreas Fault. We were in it flying. It was amazing.
Awesome.
So the kids, some of them were able to do the drone we were able to, all the teachers took the drone certification test, and our remote pilots, and it was a really cool. And then we started doing it with you out in the wildlife here, drone mapping, all kinds of stuff. Yes. And so.
Yeah, man. Well, so there's so many things there to cover.
I know. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry
Don't
at all. One, congratulations on
you.
graduating with your master's. That's flipping epic. What is the title of that going to be? What's your graduation title? What's your degree title?
Master's in Educational Leadership.
Okay.
Masters of Education in Educational Leadership.
Okay, UCF.
Yes, charge on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, Bill's a big UCF fan himself.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I
So-
did all my ed courses at UCF.
And my
Okay.
bachelor's is through them as well, but that was a lot.
Okay.
was
No,
a lot-
my bachelor's
took
is
a
through
break.
Florida State. But
Oh, okay.
I had to do all my, because I came to education. I didn't
All
plan on
set.
going into education.
Gotcha.
And so yeah, I had to take all those courses at UCF. Yeah, they were great.
Yeah.
They were great.
Have you heard about this Teach Live thing they do?
No.
That's cool. So the younger teachers we have at Astronaut, some of them are products of UCF's education program, and they have done it, but they do it for administrators too. So you're sitting in a virtual office for teachers. It's a virtual classroom, but I had to do it as an administrator, and you really, and one professor is being the avatar, and two of them are kind of judging you, making sure you can't, and it's some rough, so they up the ante on you. Like if your aunt's, mine was an angry parent who was mad that her son had been in a fight, and she didn't think he had been in the fight, but you have limited details. So it's just like the real job where you're like, real
This is
time,
what I know.
was the kid in the fight, all the stuff.
Sure.
So you have to handle the angry parent avatar who is very angry, and then afterwards they all your peers are watching you too. But they don't have to say anything; they just listen.
Okay.
So
That's
you
my
respond
worst
to that.
nightmare.
It is. My face is burning red every time I do it, because the first time a kid was in a fight, the second time the mom was mad at another teacher. So you have to deal with the leadership part. Like, are the teachers are they doing the right things with the students? And you really it's uncomfortable. It's really tough, but it's so good for you, because that discomfort makes you so good at dealing with confrontation and thinking about what you're saying. And
what an amazing program, because that's one of the biggest complaints that we have when we have new social work students or people in the social services field that have just come out of college. What you sit in a classroom and learn in a textbook is not the same as doing it.
Real time.
That's when you feel awkward. That's when you stumble over your words. So having to sit there with everybody listening, people watching you, that's amazing.
Yeah, and the funny thing is I didn't know what to expect with the Avatar, because it's I think of the movie Avatar, which that's not.
Right.
But it is, you get lost.
So he wasn't blue.
No, they're human colored
Okay.
people. But what's really funny is you're in real time and you forget that it's even an avatar. Like, you're actually talking with, you're trying to problem solve and say they're not, not
Right.
to minimize the frustrations of the person who is really hot. And you feel like you're really talking to a person. It's
So
rough.
it's kind of like talking to a Muppet, talking to Kermit the Frog.
They should do it with a Muppet.
They should.
They should, because that'll really see what you're made of.
Yeah.
Put Kermit in
Can
there.
you
Kermit
make Kermit
yelling
a
at
straight
you.
face?
If you can't get Kermit to settle down,
Yeah.
bad
He starts
grade.
waggling
C.
his arms around.
Yeah. Miss Piggy with that, how she
Oh,
gets
yeah.
the shaky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And burst into song. Oh, you'd be in trouble.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
She'll break out the karate gear.
Shut the
Oh,
meeting
yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you talked about vouchers for having interns.
Mhm.
How many interns do you think
Okay,
you had over your
so
career?
that was a long time ago.
How many interns do you think you had over your career?
Oh, well, I could do the math real quick. I probably had 6, maybe.
Okay, so
Total?
you've helped 6 people move on in their education career.
Yes.
That's amazing.
It is.
That's amazing.
We need really good. We have. Well, I know this is like part 2 and 3 of you having educators on that have talked about the teachers.
Everybody has their own
Right.
their own story behind it, and the way it's. The people we have on here, I would say, are very passionate about their work and love what they do.
Mhm.
They know as soon as they become teachers, there's benefits to the not benefits, but limitations to the money they can make,
Mhm.
but they're not in it for that reason. You know, that's what's very unique about all the teachers we've had on here. They're doing it because it's a true passion, and which, I mean, obviously is with you as well.
Well, and it can. I think the thing that hurts me the most is like how much this work has been I've been rewarded in so many ways that are not monetary. You know, seeing students fly, like even flying the drone with you. Like when you see them doing it, you can't explain it to people who aren't in the profession.
Yeah.
But when you've watched a student be afraid to touch the controllers, and then they're like following alligators that day, I'm like,
Yeah.
you cannot
Wow.
stay up in there. Can't get that close because they'll eat the drone, I think.
Yeah.
But I've seen it on YouTube. But
It's got to be true.
yeah. So, you can't put a number on that, and it's true. I mean, we can be very transparent about the financial challenges to keeping teachers in the field. But you know, I hear it so much that young people who have tried a different profession and then come back later, like, I wanted to be a teacher, and I was told, you know, and I hear sometimes just people in our community and even colleagues like discourage students and I'm like, if that's your passion, you have to follow it.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to be happy if working with young people and getting excited about something that gets them excited. Like, that is what you should be doing. Don't think about, I mean, they're like, oh, that's easy for you to say, don't think about the money. But it is something that is, we've got to fix this. We've really got to stop discouraging young people into going into the profession, because it's worthy.
Oh, yeah. When I was, way back in the day, I've been at it 29 years. And when I was younger and I wanted to go into teaching, every teacher that I talked to told me not to do it. Every teacher said, don't do it. Don't do it. And so I believed them. And then so I was in my 30s when I finally came back to it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, and here you are now.
Yeah. And I've been here for going on 29 years.
And
now.
you just can't. I actually had to shadow at a middle school today, another administrator, and we were just talking about changes and same thing you look at some of the relationships because we're following these kids. Our community is so small. It's one of the best things about this area is because you can go to any school and people know kids and families, and it's from being in Orange County and even going to my master's program, where they laugh at me when I tell them how many kids are at Astronaut, because they've got, Dr. Phillips has like 3,000 kids, and
oh, yeah.
they don't like, I can almost tell you what, I can kind of figure out who kids are pretty quickly. But it's just that's the one wonderful thing about our community, is that we are tight knit enough that we can keep tabs on kids pretty well in our schools. And even that, like, as they travel up, call, oh, is he there now? How's he doing? How's his mom? What's going on? And that's something that we need in a community to keep healthy kids happy.
Your job title now is teacher on assignment.
Yeah, I know what I sent you didn't make any sense.
Explain to me what that means.
So it depends on largely on the principal. It's a position, and you guys feel free to chime in, because I don't even know what it looks like at other schools really. The principal kind of determines what you're doing, but it needs to be leadership in mind. So what I'm largely dealing with is discipline or student issues, anything keeping them from learning. So it could be attendance issues, mostly behavioral issues, and even sometimes just following up on some other things that are happening outside of school that we're made aware of. But so it's mostly just dealing with behaviors.
From your start in education to where you are now, what are some of the biggest things you've learned or brought along with you that you've kind of amplified as you went along and really refined?
I think if you don't have relationships with young people, you're not going to get very far. That's like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I feel like
You have to earn their trust for them to.
And it's hard sometimes to explain, because they're like, wow, when I was in school and it was, but it just the way these students are, like, if you don't figure out what makes them tick, it's kind of, you're just making it a little harder to do your job. I mean, you can take the always the hard-nosed, hard line with them, which absolutely hold them to expectations. Like, we fail them by not holding them to like, we love them to failure sometimes in general, but like you have to kind of understand them to get through to some of the more difficult ones.
What do you think have been some of your challenges going from in the room teaching to now in these leadership roles?
Wow. So that has been a huge challenge, because I still think of everything like I'm still in the classroom, and how would the teacher want me to handle this? Like, I would remember so clearly what it felt like to be the one who's like, I've exhausted every resource with this child. Like, I don't know what. But also, I think it is one of my biggest fears about leaving the classroom was like, I really felt like I made a difference with my students, because I saw them every day, and like, we had the rapport, like, how'd you do at the basketball game? Oh, I said, what's the deal? You're going to your dad's this weekend? Like, that's okay, just hang in there. You get that day-to-day interaction, and when you're not with the kids, it's not a guarantee that you're going to see them every day. You feel like you're going to lose that part. Like, you're just like a whatever, you're not really anything. You're just telling them to go to class and, fix their outfit, figure out a dress code. You don't feel like it's meaningful. So, but I was wrong about that, because if good leaders will really lead teachers, then there's all kinds of potential. Like, even looking at the drone stuff and even CTE programs and getting the resources our students need, because that can only happen at those higher levels. Like, teachers we can complain and draw and show and showcase, but if we don't have someone advocating for us above us, it's hard to get the traction we need to get what we need.
So what do you think your next step is? Where do you see this going?
It's hard to tell.
You're going to have that degree in your pocket now. With that one extra piece of awesome paper.
Is Miller listening to this? No, I feel like every time I try to make a plan, I'm done making plans. Like, I'm afraid because I might fall into the wrong thing, but was it the wrong thing? I don't know. I am really happy. I thought I wouldn't be as happy as I am doing this, because I didn't think discipline was for me. But I am finding that it's great to see students who turn it around and this week's better than last week. Like, that's very motivating. Just
that's been one of your highlights of the whole thing, kind of seeing how you can turn kids around.
I forgot to mention before I went into this, I did do dropout prevention, like credit retrieval, for 5 years before I went into this position. So it was something I was already getting a lot of practice in. So that was definitely. But I don't know. I really like what I'm doing. I do think that I want to see young teachers successful, and that has been very a huge motivator, because I remember how it is, bright-eyed, like the kids are gonna love me, and then they're like, oh no, it's hard. It's harder than it looks. But I want to see them. I want to see. I've seen some great schools. I've met some really great leaders that are incredibly inspiring. So.
Goals for 2024? Now that you have this degree, what do you want to check off? What do you see that I want to try to accomplish this next?
Well, I would like to get. I've been so distracted with school. Like, I don't know if you're still following, like Tim Hawthorne, what he's doing with the GeoBus and stuff in Belize. So it would be nice to get back in. I know you were just in Belize. No, it's yes. Well, he's not in Belize, but he wants to put the GeoBus that they have at UCF. It's completely solar powered. The diesel does move it from but it's, if you look it up, it's super cool.
Okay.
I didn't write a grant.
Tell us about that real quick.
I didn't write
a
grant. Wendy Smith and her team wrote a grant for it to go to our Title I elementary schools, and they were able to go on. It has it's like a traveling lab of science stuff. They build things with this sandbox that's it's a special name, I'm forgetting it, but there's just all kinds of things on the bus. I could get you a tour of the bus.
So he wants to put this in Belize?
He does.
For what reason?
Well, he started.
Maybe I don't understand what it does. What does it do?
So it's all for kids. It's all kids just getting excited about science and learning. Okay. There is the drone. The drones have been the same drones. Well, actually, it's a different brand because we had that thing. But
yeah, the thing. Yes,
the thing.
The thing.
They have the drones in Belize. They were doing it for erosion, like on the different. We were doing it to identify the wasting disease on eelgrass, but there it's more about monitoring the size of the different islands and the.
I wonder where where in Belize he's doing this.
Hopkins Bay.
Really?
Yeah, is that what? Don't tell me that's where you were.
We were just out. We went and got a crocodile in Hopkins while we were there.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, so it was one that somebody had caught, but it was a kind of a poaching issue going on there.
Oh.
It's a poor community, so a lot of times they
well,
eat
that's
the crocodiles.
I mean, I haven't talked to him in a while, but I know that's a big motivation of his is to get the science in the hands of the kids that will. I mean, because
you need to put me together with this guy so I can put him together with Marissa.
Will. He is. Yep. He's amazing.
Okay.
But stuff like that, what he's been doing, it's just because when I went out there on that trip, it did change it changed me a little bit because there is something to getting the kids out of the classroom. I mean, COVID messed us up a little bit where we were like, field trips and the germs. But when we put the kids in the places and give them the stuff.
There's no better way of learning, in my opinion.
They get so into it, you know?
There's no better way of learning than getting kids out in things and letting them do it and experience it out in the middle of nowhere. It's the coolest stuff ever.
Yeah.
But
so
I'm spoiled that way.
I would like to see that more often, and we need more people saying, let's make it work, let's make it happen.
Well, as you know, I'm always all in.
Yes, you are.
You say when, we'll get out there and do it.
You'll do it with us.
Yeah, we'll get all over it. Okay, so did you bring some trivia for us?
I did bring trivia.
Let's jump into trivia.
I kind of feel like these are not going to be your favorite trivia questions, only because you've had a lot of teachers on, or educators, I should say.
There's this trivia thing coming up. Cindy, tell us a date. When is the Women's Center trivia coming up? It's February.
February 24th?
24th?
24th, yes.
We need a couple extra people. You want to come do trivia with us? It's supporting the Women's Center.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, do we know the topics in advance? Or
oh,
no.
No. It's heavy. It's heavy and flipping awesome.
It's incredibly
it
competitive.
Really hard.
Well, it can be.
Not like Star Wars stuff.
There's a variety. There's a good range.
We put together a pretty awesome team.
Acme stuff. Yeah, we put together a team of 8.
Yeah, we put together a team of heavy
so
hitters.
you will not have to carry
If I'm weak on Star Wars, that's fine.
Yeah, that's right. We try to keep everybody
even
well-rounded.
Pop culture, I can really help you guys.
See, I know nothing about it. I know nothing about it.
All right.
I know nothing.
Yeah, they try to pick a variety of different topics.
Yeah, and we try to bring a variety of different people that have different backgrounds, which makes a huge difference. So yeah, if you want to jump in,
I would love to. I think it'd be fun, but I hope I don't let you guys down though.
No, we'll just come have a good time.
No, we don't take it seriously at all.
Okay.
No, not at all.
We had the first. We had 6 people last year. Or did we have 8?
No, we had all 8.
Did we finish third?
Yeah, we finished third.
We finished third last year, and we
out
just kind
of
of
20-something teams.
Yeah, we kind of just winged it. So yeah, trust me, you'll be in good hands. You'll make us look good.
I'm in.
Okay. All right. Hit us with some trivia.
Okay.
Did you go with a theme?
I did.
Okay. Tell us your theme.
Shock you.
I'm guessing at this point it's probably Star Wars at this point.
Yes,
no,
it's Star Wars.
Not Star Wars or the other one that is there's
Star Trek and Star Wars. Yeah.
Star Trek. Isn't there another one that everybody goes crazy over that's like a space movie? Okay, just kidding.
No. Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah, I don't know.
Galactica?
Okay, I don't know any of those.
Yeah, Galactica.
Yeah, there you go.
But it is Brevard Education.
Okay.
So you guys feel good? Have you had anything like this before?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna start
I feel
out
like
with
you have an unfair advantage, Bill.
Well,
I would hope so.
I graduated from Satellite High back in the day.
You might find these interesting then.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a softball one to start you out.
Okay.
Okay, name. Okay, so obviously it's Brevard County.
Right.
What is a name of the area we're in now? Like prior to Brevard County, what was one of the counties it's been called?
Mosquito County.
It was Mosquito
Did
County.
you know that?
High five across the room.
Okay,
Boom!
that was probably my easiest one because I thought,
there you go.
All right,
okay.
I've got one.
Okay.
Well, it was also part of Volusia County at one point.
Yes, and Orange County, I guess.
Yeah, and Orange, yeah.
Just kept getting passed around.
Yep.
All right.
See, Pop was a professional land surveyor, so growing up,
this was
Pop
an
hit me on that
advantage
stuff.
for you, yeah.
On the area stuff at least.
Okay, so as you know, our property taxes are really important. All right, how much of Brevard County is covered in water?
Oh gosh.
Oh, freaking cool question.
I know.
That is a good question.
I can't claim this one. One of our administrators thought of this one.
37%.
Yeah.
I'm guessing
30.
65.
Wow. Okay, so I'm going to give
because
you
we got the St. John's.
24.
Do you want to do it in fractions?
No, well, I'm thinking.
We can do it in
I'm thinking. So we have the St. John's, which isn't wide, but if the water's up, it's really wide. We have the Indian River, Banana River, Sykes Creek, which cover the entire county. that take up a lot of room. And then the ocean in our county is out to 3 miles.
Oh, I didn't even think. Okay,
So-
I'm going to say
so
1/3.
I don't think
it
they count
is
that.
1/3.
1/3.
Is
But
it?
that's not. I
Dang,
don't know
on
what
fire.
season. Seasonally,
Oh,
it
yeah.
could be different.
After this
depending on
weekend, it'll be
hurricanes.
50%.
Yeah,
Dear Lord. Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe.
All
Maybe
right. So our
Cindy's 2 for 2. Okay,
yeah,
this
Cindy,
is getting
you're
sketchy.
killing it, and it's good. I think that might be a kind of a hard question.
I've been
but-
doing very poor for several weeks, so I needed this.
We all have. Let's be honest. We've all been struggling.
All right. This is I think our first superintendent. The year was a little shaky, but our first superintendent we hired in the late 1800s. However, do you know where his office was located? What
Ooh,
city?
We talked about this.
What? Someone already asked this?
No. Remember we
No.
talked about where the city hall was, or not city hall, but county headquarters was at in Brevard. We
Right.
talked about it a long time ago.
It
I'll
was?
see if you remember it.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Titusville?
Yeah,
Weren't
they
we
were
the
in
county
Titusville.
seat?
Cindy, you're killing
were
it.
the
It's
They were.
Titusville.
They were in
Yeah,
Titusville.
we hit this once a
Well-
long time ago.
The
The court?
condos that are out next to where the community credit union used to be.
Okay.
That building and the condos that they built next to it, that land that those condos are built on was where the school board headquarters were.
Really?
Oh yeah, I've been in the building.
We need to
I
do
was
like
in
a
the building.
history tour.
Yeah.
Or
That'd
somebody
be-
does.
that'd
I
be
want to go
flipping
on
cool,
it.
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all in on that. That'd
Yeah.
be really neat.
Let's get that scheduled soon.
I want
We're
to see.
on
I want
it.
to see where. I'm going to see where the skunk ape has been seen before. What
Oh.
happened? No, I don't know what I'm talking about. No, that's not.
All right, this is I mean, I think this is easy, but it's interesting. Currently, what is the largest high school in Brevard County?
Ooh, I think I know the answer to that one. I think it's
Do
changed.
you mean population?
Student count.
population.
Yeah.
So
I would
it's-
guess Palm Bay.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
I would say Vieira.
you got it. The Vieira.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vieira.
I know Palm Bay's getting humongous.
Little
so I was
over
making a guess.
2,000. I wonder. I should have looked up Palm Bay because it did have them in order of
Okay.
size. But
Now, when
better
I
I'd say
look
it's
there.
got to be up
When
there
I
right now.
started at Titusville, Space Coast hadn't been built yet.
Correct.
wow.
Yeah, when I was here, it
So
wasn't either. Yeah.
we had 2,400,
Okay.
we had
Gosh,
it was a big.
2,400,
It was a
Yeah.
big school.
and it was packed.
packed.
It was packed, and then they built Space Coast, and we went down to like 1,500.
Right. Can you remember how many portables you probably had back then?
Actually, we didn't have
Yeah,
portables.
Where'd
there
you
were
put all
there
the
were none.
kids?
What we had
top
is
of
we
each
had
other.
the old Riverview
Yeah,
Annex,
Riverview. Yep.
the old
Oh.
Riverview Elementary School that we grew into,
Okay.
and so it was an old brick building.
it
and
was.
they've
It was
since
something
torn
else.
it down,
It was something else.
and it didn't have. They added AC to it
It was something else.
afterwards, and
Oh.
It was a
and-
journey.
so yeah, it was really really weird. But yeah, we had the English department and the social studies department were all down in the
yeah.
Riverview Annex,
And drama.
Wow.
Drama was
and
down there
drama
too.
was
Yeah,
there
drama
too.
was
Well,
there.
that's kind of part of English.
Oh, you're
and
right. True.
So
True
they're
story.
down there for that, and then math and science was up north. ROTC was all the way where like the tennis courts are now.
Wow.
Yeah, the whole
So
north
you
end.
had to go from one end because the Riverview was where softball was.
Yeah.
One end to the other, and you still only have 5 minutes.
That's what
It
I
was
was
a
that was
legit-
my next question.
It was a legit 15-minute walk.
So did they
Wow.
like what were tardies just kind of
yeah, you kind
sort
of
of like a
you
best
went, if
practice?
they said we're coming from ROTC,
Do your
you were
best.
like,
okay.
okay.
Yeah, but the
Okay.
bell was about to ring, so pack it up anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. This is a kind of a good one because I would have gotten this wrong myself because I was thinking about this school, so we can eliminate this one because it's an older one.
Okay.
But what is the oldest high school still currently a high school? Because there's other ones that were
Okay.
like started and didn't.
I think I know this one.
That's not
Thank
Titusville High School.
It's not Titusville High
No.
School, which was founded in 1927.
1927.
No,
That-
it would be Melbourne High School.
Oh my gosh, it is. Do you know the year?
No, but the original Melbourne High School building is what where somebody else has moved into it and redone it
Is it?
because it's over on New Haven.
Yeah, I actually.
Really?
I don't know who it is, but that's
I
all.
think it's
that's
a
in the
museum now or
details.
something.
It might be.
I think
The
it is.
new-
Oh, isn't it that like naval airplane something
be.
school? It's
Nice.
not naval. It's some kind of like airplane. Every time I drive by it, the only reason I remember is I think, oh, that's odd. I wonder what they do there.
Oh yeah. I don't know, but yeah, the Melbourne High has been around
It
for.
was 1905,
Okay.
Wow.
and then Cocoa is 1917, and then O'Galley and Titusville came soon after.
Right.
That's
And Titusville
crazy.
Titusville High is actually older than 27.
Oh,
But
because it
27 is when we
this-
were established on this site.
So when did they? It wasn't older than 1905.
no,
or my trivia is wrong.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No,
What?
because it was in
It was
downtown.
wasn't it like the city hall or Bay?
Yeah, near there by.
Yeah.
In fact, if you go into the Babcock Home Furnishing, that's the original gym for the original
Wow.
Titusville High School, and you used to be able to see part of
What?
the floor, the original floor. In
We
there.
need to find out when that was.
Yeah.
Like when that school, because there's a lot of interesting history in MIMS
Well,
about the
you
different
know, if you go
schools
to
that were-
the
Yeah.
North Brevard
They
Historical
have all that stuff
Society,
there. Yeah.
they do a lot of that
They
stuff.
do,
have
and
a
I
lot of
saw
that
they're
information.
doing now, which I think is great. The kids' history stuff. That's pretty cool.
They got some
cool.
really neat
Yeah,
things in there.
they do.
Yeah.
Got some neat things in there. Miss Cerrato, thank you
Yes,
very
thank
much
you
for
for
being
having
here
me.
with
This
us.
was very enjoyable for my very first podcast.
This was an absolute blast.
was
Yeah,
amazing.
you're a natural. That's great.
Oh, thank you.
Bill, Cindy, until
Yes,
about
sir.
5 minutes from now. I mean, tomorrow or next week.
Yes, the next show that we do.
All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to the EEARSS Podcast. You can find us on all platforms by searching EEARSS or EEARSS.org.com, alligatorrob.com, all the things. Where you can find us in all the ways. Want to give a shout out to the EEARSS EcoFest that is coming up on January 19th in Cocoa Village. We have some amazing speakers, everybody from Joanne DeFreeze with the Indian River Lagoon Council, St. John's Water Management District, Florida Mana Project, Sea Turtle Preservation Society, all kinds of good groups. They're talking during the day in the Civic Center, and then outside from 5 to 11 at night, we have live music, a bunch of vendors, all kinds of fun. You're not going to want to miss it. It's all free. Show up, have a great time. You're not going to want to miss it. I want to say thank you to our sponsors, Fisher Nissan, Kelsey's Pizza, Vieira Pediatric Dentistry, Hello Again Books. There's so many people that have helped this thing come together. I want to thank you for all you're doing, and we appreciate you all. We'll catch you all again next week. Bye-bye.